Welcome back. There has been a bank robbery, and this is the second incident that is taking place just within 24 hours. Terrorists looting another bank in South Kashmir, and this one in Shopian. District sources have told India Today that 3 terrorists who were masked barged into the Jammu Kashmir bank in Ratnipura branch in Shopian, and they fled with 2 lakh rupees. Just yesterday, in fact, the Jammu Kashmir bank, the Marhama branch in Sangam area of Anantnag, was also looted in a similar manner. Ashraf Wani joins us for more on this. And Ashraf, this is alarming because there have just been so many incidents of bank robberies in the past with the police blaming militants. But how banks are becoming soft targets for militants is also a very serious cause for concern.
Absolutely, Avantika. Basically, we have seen this trend after the demonetization in the country when the series of banks were looted, most of them in the South Kashmir, and even some of the militants involved in those bank robberies were arrested by the police and even killed, what the police said at that time. But there was a kind of halt in these kind of incidents in the South Kashmir, particularly in the bank robberies. But since yesterday afternoon, we are seeing now 2 banks had been looted in the South Kashmir, one in the Anantnag district, another one, as you said, in the Shopian district. And now the CCTV footage has come out from the branch which was looted today, which visuals we have with us and are showing to our viewers, where 3 gunmen can be easily seen with their weapons going inside bank, then first of all targeting the CCTV camera setup inside the bank branch, and then looting the amount. There was only the cash of 2 lakh rupees in that small bank branch that was looted by these armed gunmen. And police has now said that they have identified all these gunmen. It is a local module of Hizbul Mujahideen which is from the Shopian area, and they are behind this crime.
But then why is it, even after the identification and even after a few arrests of the terrorists who are involved in such bank heists, Ashraf, we get to hear incidents being repeated? Why is it that this is not being checked? Where exactly is the problem?
Avantika, a very interesting question you asked. Basically, this is the something what the government as well as the bank authorities have to answer, and they are so far failed to give the proper answer for these questions, because there were at least 12 bank looting incidents earlier part of the year, this year. Now, these 2 incidents during last 24 hours, when the Jammu and Kashmir Bank as well as government assured that all the bank branches will be provided with the adequate security and these things could be curbed. But so far it has not happened, and openly militants who have the support even may have information from the people inside the banks, what the sources said, police sources said, and that is the way that these things are happening and are not being checked. And also another thing is that most of these bids had been so far found that they are successful. The militants or the gunmen who come over to loot the bank, they easily target the bank, then take away the cash and fled. Now here in this case where this bank was looted, just after looting the bank, after 15 or 20 minutes, security forces from army, police and other paramilitary forces reached to the spot, have caught that. This is the ongoing exercise what we have seen already at every time when this incident happened in the Kashmir.
Absolutely. Just stay on with me. We also joined on the phone line by the SSP of Shopian. Sir, you know, this is a serious matter. Militants barging into a bank, looting cash. And we have seen in the past also how bank robberies are taking place in a span of just hours. Can you just tell us a little bit more about these 2 bank robberies reported in the last 24 hours itself?
Today at 11:30 something around, 11:30, we received an information from the bank that some militants, masked gunmen entered their premises. The militants have decamped with the cash to the tune of say 1,98,000, and immediately we rushed the parties towards that place, and we have identified the militants. These are Hizbul Mujahideen militants. One of them has been identified as Ishfaq Thokar. The other one is Mohammad Abbas Bhatt, and the third one Zubair Ture. These are all local Hizbul Mujahideen militants. It is evident that these people are running low on cash, and that is why these dacoities are happening.
But sir, why there hasn't been a stop to this? Why is it that banks in South Kashmir particularly are becoming soft targets for militants?
Shopian district. So for the consumption of local traders and local fruit growers, these kind of small amounts of cash is being made available in these remote areas also. And militants have just taken advantage of that. We are taking all preventive measures. We are ready for guarding all these banks, and we have a very good synergy with the other banks located in this district also.
Like it says, sir, there have been several incidents of bank robberies in the past as well, and police have blamed the militants. In fact, very successfully, you have also been able to nab few of them, identify them. But is there also an involvement of, a few bank officials? Could this also be an insider's job? Could there be communication with these terrorists and people working for these particular banks that are targeted?
See, that all can be spoken about only after the investigation reaches some conclusion. Till the time, whatever technical and human intelligence we gather from the spot, from the other surveillance mechanisms, we can identify these militants as this Hizbul Mujahideen group that I have told you already.
All right, so thanks so much for speaking to us. So that is the breaking news right now about these two bank robberies that have taken place in 24 hours itself. Terrorists looting a bank in South Kashmir in Shopian, and just yesterday there was another bank loot, the Jammu Kashmir Bank Marhama branch in Sangam area of Anantnag, wherein terrorists fled with 5 lakh rupees. Okay, I'm also joined by RSN Singh, a defense expert right now on the broadcast. Sir, good afternoon. Thanks so much for speaking to us. I was just speaking to the SSP of Shopian, but this has been the trend for quite some time, and it has peaked post-demonetization, which clearly indicates the desperation of these militants to gain access to cash. But why is it that, such bank loots cannot be prevented? Is it such a challenging task for the security personnel?
I really have no answer to your question, and you have, but nevertheless you have asked a very pertinent question. I mean, if this is happening time and again, I fail to understand that why these banks or cash outlets, they cannot be secured.
True.
That means there is absolutely no doubt about it that our approach has been totally lackadaisical. The other point is that yes, we all know that they are hard for cash, especially when this crackdown on Hurriyat has taken place. It has had its impact. The demonetization had its impact. But a very, very pertinent question you asked me, and what can I say? You asked the security officials.
I did. In fact, I did ask that question, and the answer was that they have been able to identify the militants. But what remains to be unanswered, is, sir, that why is it then, if the arrests have taken place, if the identification process has taken place, that South Kashmir in particular has been hit by a spate of such attacks on banks? And why is it that banks are increasingly becoming soft targets for militants?
No, this is not a very satisfactory answer that you have got. I mean, you can fail once, but if you repeatedly fail, I mean, this answer is not an excuse at all. The fact of the matter is that what we have done to deter this kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
Now, with each bank robbery, let alone leave alone the finances. Financial part of it, what happens is that the writ of the government, the writ of Delhi gets weak, with repeated instances like this. So it's a question. I mean, it needs to be addressed very, very cogently, and it also shows that how much of control we have in these. Militant infested areas. So we cannot allow, our, national institutions to which the banks belong to be threatened and looted the manner in which they are being done now.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have with us retired Major General G.D. Bakshi on the broadcast. Sir, that's the news. 2 bank robberies taking place within a span of 24 hours. one had thought that there would be enough security at these banks following a spate of attacks that took place post demonetization, but the banks still remain the soft target for militants.
The fact of the matter is that the NIA, as you are aware, has gone very hard against the Hurriyat and their financial network. It has been badly hit. A lot of their top honchos who were getting the money from Hawala transactions, from the cross LOC trade, etc., have all been booked, are all being under investigation. So they have been hit very hard financially. It is very essential to hit the financial networks. The fact that they are now started to loot banks, shows that they are feeling the pain, they are feeling the pinch, because the money that was being paid to the terrorists' relatives, to the stone pelters, etc., is all dried up, and you will find these activities have come down drastically. Now they are trying to revive these, and the only way they can revive these is by trying to loot some banks, etc.
Right.
We should also now be very clear about what are the kind of target sets they are hitting.
Okay.
And we should be able to lay ambushes, get them in the act, kill them, so that it doesn't get repeated. We need to strengthen, because we know now that...
Which hasn't happened, sir. Which hasn't happened, and therefore we are seeing the spate of attacks on various banks. Major General G.D. Bakshi, I'll just have to thank you right here.